The power of the universe is not distant in the stars. It pulses within your own awareness, answering every thought and feeling with mathematical certainty. An invisible law is at work, amplifying your inner world into outer experience. When you understand this sacred resonance, you no longer struggle against life, you align with it. Listen closely, and you will awaken the power that orchestrates galaxies and expresses itself through you. Power of Universe. Introduction. There is a current of immeasurable intelligence moving quietly within you, the very power of the universe clothed in your awareness. It responds to you with unfailing precision, reflecting your inner world as faithfully as still water reflects the moon. It does not pause to measure what you call great or small, worthy or unworthy. It simply answers the vibration you embody, translating thought and feeling into living experience. What you think is not a passing shadow. It is formative substance. What you feel is not fleeting. It is magnetic decree. Every image impressed upon your mind becomes a subtle blueprint, and every emotion becomes a summons sent into the vastness. The universe does not deliberate over your desires. It mirrors them with mathematical accuracy, responding to the total sum of your conscious intentions and your hidden assumptions alike. The sages of every age guarded this knowing in parable and symbol. They understood that your mind is not separate from the creative force. It is that force awakening to itself through you. When you choose your thoughts deliberately, you are not merely imagining. You are participating in the same power that spins planets and scatters stars across infinity. Yet, this power is not compelled by strain. It moves through harmony, not force. As rivers find the sea without struggle, manifestation unfolds when your thoughts, emotions, and actions flow in accord with universal law. Resistance knots the current. Alignment releases it. You are not required to wrestle with reality or plead for its favor. The key is inner concord. When your state of being matches what you desire, the power of the universe expresses it through you with quiet inevitability. This is not superstition. It is sacred mechanics, the precise and impartial operation of cosmic law responding to the consciousness that you are. And remember this above all: the power is not distant, nor must it be summoned from the heavens. It breathes as your breath. It beats as your heart. It waits only for your recognition, your consent, and your willing cooperation. Before we get into the book, comment "I am ready" to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. The Invisible Law at Work. Chapter 1. The First Response of the Universe. Long ago, in a bustling market town, a merchant named Martha Reed spent her days counting grievances like copper coins. Each morning brought fresh complaints: the weather too damp, her competitors too fortunate, her customers too few. With every utterance of displeasure, her world seemed to darken further, as if the very air conspired against her peace. Through months of mounting frustration, Martha failed to notice how her words wove the fabric of her experience. Until one day, a wandering sage paused at her stall. Rather than bargaining, he simply observed as she lamented her troubles. "Your words," he said softly, "are seeds scattered in fertile soil. Have you wondered what crop you harvest?" This simple question transformed Martha's understanding. She began to watch her thoughts as carefully as she counted her inventory. When she spoke of beauty, beauty multiplied before her eyes. When she expressed gratitude, abundance flowed naturally into her life. Her days rearranged themselves into patterns of ease, not because the world had changed, but because she had altered the signal she sent into the universe. The law of resonance operates with perfect precision, amplifying whatever frequency you broadcast. Like a musical note that causes similar strings to vibrate in harmony, your energy creates ripples that return to you with mathematical accuracy. The universe does not judge whether your vibration serves you. It simply magnifies what you express. Elmer Tate, a craftsman in the same town, discovered this truth through his own journey. His desires rang out like temple bells, yet doubt whispered constantly beneath them. He would proclaim his worthiness of success while harboring secret beliefs of inadequacy. The universe, being the perfect amplifier, returned both signals in equal measure, creating a life that seemed perpetually stuck between triumph and setback. Your relationship with universal power mirrors the principle of resonance. Each thought, each feeling, each declaration sends waves through the cosmic sea, returning to you with increased intensity. This is not punishment or reward, but the natural operation of universal law. Practice. The sunlight resonance. Find a quiet moment as sunlight embraces you. Let its warmth remind you of the universe's constant presence. Bring to mind 3 simple joys from your recent experience, perhaps the taste of morning tea, a child's laughter, or a moment of peace. Allow each joy to expand within your chest, growing stronger and clearer. Feel this warmth becoming a direct channel of communication with the creative force of the universe. Let your gratitude resonate outward, knowing it returns multiplied. Chapter 2. The Law Behind Every Emotion. The law of resonance shapes your every experience, weaving the tapestry of your reality through the subtle threads of your emotional state. When you grasp this truth, you unlock the sacred dialogue between your inner world and the cosmic forces that orchestrate life's unfolding. Consider the wisdom revealed through Ruby Cole's journey. Her tears of frustration became seeds, sprouting more situations that warranted tears. Each sob acted as a signal, drawing circumstances that matched her emotional frequency. Yet the moment she allowed an authentic smile to grace her lips, the universe's timing began to flow with newfound grace. Her story teaches that emotions serve as the universal language through which you communicate with the infinite intelligence that surrounds you. Walter Finn's tale further unveils this truth. Unaware of his role as creator, he infused his choices with fear, watching as chaos multiplied in perfect resonance with his inner turbulence. Each anxious thought acted as a magnet, drawing more situations that justified his unease. It was only when he discovered the power of emotional neutrality that the cosmic forces began to arrange themselves more harmoniously around his life. You must understand, the universe does not judge your emotions as good or bad. It simply receives your emotional transmissions as instructions, responding with mathematical precision to amplify whatever signal you send. Your feelings are not mere reactions to life. They are creative forces that shape the very fabric of your experience. When frustration clouds your day, it is not a sign of life working against you, but rather a mirror reflecting your inner state back to you. The power lies in recognizing this reflection. Each emotion serves as a messenger, revealing the quality of energy you're currently contributing to the universal flow. The ancient ones knew this secret well. that mastery of life begins with mastery of one's emotional state, not through suppression or denial, but through conscious awareness and gentle guidance of one's inner atmosphere. Practice sacred emotional alignment. Find a quiet moment and allow your breath to become your anchor. If restlessness stirs within you, resist the urge to fight it. Instead, acknowledge its presence with gentle awareness. Like a skilled gardener tending to their plants, nurture your emotional state toward calm appreciation. Watch as your environment begins to respond, subtly shifting to mirror your inner harmony. This practice, passed down through generations of wisdom keepers, opens the channel through which universal forces can align with your highest good. Chapter 3. The Mirror of Intention. Through the ages, a sacred truth has echoed. Your emotional resonance shapes the reflection life presents. This wisdom manifests clearly in the tale of Agnes York, whose outward desires clashed with her inner doubts. Though her lips spoke of advancement, her heart harbored shadows of unworthiness. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, could only mirror back the dominant vibration she held. The law knows no deception. It responds to the energy you emanate, not the words you speak. Like water taking the shape of its container, universal forces conform to your deepest held beliefs. Agnes's story unveils how even the most fervent wishes become diluted when mixed with the waters of doubt. Yet contrast emerged through Clyde Burke's mastery of this principle. Rather than yearning desperately for what lay ahead, he transformed his present position into an altar of gratitude. Each task, each moment, became his offering to the universe, not as desperate plea, but as joyful preparation. He understood that current circumstances serve as the foundation upon which future blessings are built. By honoring his present role as sacred training ground, he aligned his entire being with the frequency of advancement. The universe responds not to what you say you want, but to what you vibrate. When Clyde celebrated his current position as a stepping stone to greater heights, he eliminated the resistance that Agnes had unknowingly created. His promotion manifested not through force or struggle, but through natural unfoldment, like a flower blooming in its appointed season. This eternal law operates with mathematical precision. Your emotional state creates a resonance that must find its match in physical reality. Words alone hold no power to override the energy you emit. The universe perceives your true frequency and responds in kind, reflecting back the exact quality of your belief and feeling. Ancient practice. Choose one desire that lives in your heart. Before focusing on what you wish to attract, pause to find genuine appreciation for your present circumstances. Spend time blessing what is, allowing gratitude to cleanse any fears or doubts about what may come. Notice how this shift in emotional energy begins to polish the mirror of manifestation, creating a clear surface for your desires to reflect back to you. When your heart truly aligns with joy in the present moment, the path to your desires opens naturally, without force or strain. Chapter 4. The Magnetic Conversation. The ancient ones knew a truth that modern seekers often overlook. The language of creation speaks through vibration, not volume. This wisdom shines through the story of Nora Dale, who discovered that the gentlest whisper, when filled with pure feeling, holds more power than the loudest demands. In moments of need, Nora would find a quiet corner and speak to the universe not as a beggar approaching a stern master, but as a child confiding in a loving parent. Her prayers became intimate conversations, each word carried on the wings of tender trust rather than desperate pleading. As she shifted from demanding to communing, the universe's responses grew more graceful, more precise. The law operates through resonance, not rhetoric. When you approach the infinite force with genuine feeling, it responds to the quality of your emotion rather than the arrangement of your words. Nora's experience reveals that the universe recognizes the vibration beneath your requests, not the eloquence of your appeal. This truth found further expression through Benny Ross, who mastered the art of charged silence. He understood that words often dilute the pure current of intention. In stillness, he would hold his desires in unwavering consciousness, allowing his conviction to speak louder than any verbal declaration. The universe answered his unspoken dialogue with the reliability of a devoted friend. Your relationship with universal forces remains active whether you acknowledge it or not. Every thought, every feeling, transmits a signal that creation must answer. The exchange never pauses. Even in silence, you broadcast your expectations into the cosmic field. What differs is the clarity of your transmission. When Benny embraced purposeful silence, he eliminated the static that often clouds communication with universal intelligence. His quiet certainty created a clear channel through which his intentions could flow unimpeded. The results arrived with natural ease, like leaves turning toward sunlight. Ancient practice. The sages passed down this sacred method for purifying your dialogue with universal forces. When contemplating your heart's desires, pause in the silence between thoughts. In that space, whisper an internal yes, not as a word, but as a feeling of absolute acceptance. Allow this affirmation to expand beyond your mind, flowing like warm honey through every cell of your body. Feel it resonating in your fingertips, your chest, your feet. Stay with this sensation until you sense your own rhythm synchronizing with the universal pulse, two hearts beating as one. In this harmony lies the secret of effortless manifestation. Chapter 5. The Signature of Thought. In the vast tapestry of existence, your words weave patterns that the universe faithfully reproduces. These patterns, born from repeated thoughts and declarations, become the blueprint from which your reality takes shape. The ancient masters understood this profound truth. The phrases you constantly repeat are seeds planted in the fertile soil of infinite possibility. Consider the tale of Clara Page, whose lips habitually formed the words, "I never have enough." With each utterance, she unknowingly carved deeper grooves in the cosmic field, creating a template for scarcity. Her story reflects an ageless wisdom that thought precedes manifestation, just as the architect's vision precedes the building's form. Each time she spoke of lack, the universal forces, operating with perfect precision, arranged circumstances to match her declaration. Yet within this same law lay her liberation. As Clara began to recognize the power of her words, she consciously reshaped her inner dialogue. The shift was subtle at first, a gentle retraining of thought patterns toward sufficiency. As her declarations changed, so too did the universal response, demonstrating that the law works with equal efficiency in all directions. Henry Nash's journey unveils another facet of this truth. He discovered that cultivating a vocabulary of abundance created an entirely different resonance in the field of all possibilities. His thoughts and words became like master keys, unlocking doors that seemed permanently sealed. With each expression of plenty, with every acknowledgement of sufficiency, the universe rearranged itself to mirror his new pattern. The power of this law lies not in occasional statements, but in the steady rhythm of certainty. When you repeatedly affirm abundance, you're not merely speaking words. You're establishing a vibrational frequency that the universe must match. This is not magic, but mathematics, not miracle, but law. Ancient practice. Throughout this day, become a witness to your inner dialogue. Notice the statements that flow through your mind with habitual ease. When you catch yourself speaking of limitation, pause. Take each thought and consciously transform it into an expression of gratitude and abundance. Feel how the energy shifts as worry dissolves into possibility. For example, when "I can't afford this" arises, reshape it to "I am grateful for all the resources flowing into my life." When "nothing ever works out" appears, transform it to "I appreciate how things always work out for my highest good." As you practice this transformation, notice how the texture of your consciousness changes, from the rigid patterns of worry to the expansive field of possibility. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the conscious application of universal law passed down through generations of wisdom keepers who understood the creative power of thought. Let each rewritten statement rest in your heart until it feels as natural as breathing. The universe responds not to the words themselves, but to the feeling tone they create within you. This is the ancient art of conscious creation, available to all who would master it. Chapter 6. The Current of Faith. Long ago, in a distant village, there lived a woman named Josie Moore who understood a truth most overlooked, that the universe operates on perfect timing. While others rushed to force outcomes, she moved with gentle awareness, allowing life to unfold like petals opening to morning light. Each day she tended her garden and craft, knowing that what was meant for her would arrive at the precise moment of readiness. The universal law reveals itself through such stories. Faith conducts the electricity of creation. Just as power flows through unobstructed circuits, your trust allows divine timing to orchestrate circumstances with flawless precision. When you release the grip of control, you become a clear channel for miracles. Vernon Gibbs walked a different path. Believing he must manipulate every detail, he exhausted himself trying to bend reality to his will. His story teaches the cost of resistance, how forcing creation only creates static in the cosmic current. Each attempt to control drained more energy until he stood empty, learning that surrender precedes grace. These contrasting journeys illuminate the law of divine timing. The universe operates through an intelligence far beyond human scheduling. Your role is not to direct traffic, but to maintain clear channels through unwavering faith. When you trust the process, you align with the natural flow of manifestation. Think of faith as an electrical current. It requires an uninterrupted path to power your desires into being. Doubt creates resistance, while trust allows energy to flow freely. Your belief becomes the conductor through which universal forces move, transforming potential into reality. The wisdom of the ages whispers, "What you seek also seeks you." Time is not your enemy, but your ally in perfect orchestration. Release the need to force, push, or strain. Instead, cultivate the quiet certainty that everything aligns according to divine order. Ancient practice of trust. Find a quiet space and settle into stillness. Close your eyes and bring awareness to your chest, where universal energy naturally gathers. Visualize a golden current of light emanating from your heart center. Feel this radiant stream flowing outward, extending to the distant horizon in all directions. As this golden current moves through you, imagine it carrying your desires and dreams within its flow. See how effortlessly it conducts your aspirations toward manifestation. There is no strain, no force, only the steady stream of trust connecting you to infinite possibility. Let this golden light become your faith made visible. Feel how it dissolves resistance and creates a clear path for miracles. Your trust becomes the perfect conductor, allowing universal timing to work its magic through you. This current flows eternally, whether you observe it or not. By aligning with it consciously, you step into the stream of divine timing, where all things arrive in perfect sequence. Chapter 7. The Art of Vibrational Focus. In a small village among ancient hills lived a woman known for her magnificent garden. While others struggled with weeds and withering plants, her flowers bloomed with extraordinary vigor. When asked about her secret, she would smile and say, "I see only the blossoms, never the thorns." The universe responds with precision to the direction of your attention. Like a masterful artist, it paints the canvas of your life with the colors you most consistently observe. This truth became evident in the experience of Elsie Lynn, whose scattered focus created a garden of concerns rather than contentment. Each morning, Elsie Lynn would wake and immediately divide her attention among various worries: her health, her finances, her relationships. Like seeds scattered in fertile soil, each concern she watered with her attention grew into a towering presence in her life. The more she divided her focus among these troubles, the more rapidly they multiplied, until her days became a constant dance between competing anxieties. Yet the universe, in its infinite wisdom, offers continuous opportunities for course correction. When Elsie finally understood the power of disciplined attention, she began directing her focus toward the beauty surrounding her. With each intentional shift, the contrast between what she feared and what she desired began to fade, replaced by a growing harmony in her experience. This same principle revealed itself through Warren Boyd, who discovered the transformative power of singular focus. Rather than splitting his attention between various concerns, he chose to direct his entire awareness toward peace. As he maintained this unwavering focus, the chaos that had once dominated his life began to recede, like shadows dissolving in morning light. These stories merge to reveal a fundamental truth: energy flows where attention goes. Your focus acts as a lens through which universal forces are concentrated. When you scatter this lens among various concerns, you dilute its power. But when you direct it with precision toward what you wish to experience, reality begins to reshape itself accordingly. Think of your attention as a beam of sunlight. When dispersed, it gently warms a wide area. But when focused through a magnifying glass, it generates enough power to ignite what it touches. Similarly, Your concentrated awareness holds the power to transform any aspect of your experience. Ancient practice. The single flower. Choose one beautiful image that brings you joy, perhaps a flower, a sunset, or a peaceful scene. Throughout your day, return to this image repeatedly, each time adding more emotional richness to your visualization. Feel its beauty, its perfection, its harmony. Let this image become your companion, a touchstone of focus amidst daily activities. With each revisit, allow your emotional connection to deepen until you notice the outer world beginning to reflect the beauty you've held so steadily in your mind. This practice aligns your inner and outer worlds through the power of focused attention. Chapter 8. The Honest Frequency. A woman named Hattie Knox smiled brightly at everyone she met, speaking of dreams and possibilities. Yet beneath her cheerful words, a dissonant frequency hummed, one of quiet despair and resignation. Though she recited affirmations faithfully, her inner world remained unchanged. The universe, you see, responds not to the words we speak, but to the energy we emanate. Your vibrational signature cannot be falsified. Like water finding its own level, your true feeling state will always determine what manifests in your experience. When you attempt to overlay artificial optimism upon unacknowledged pain, you create internal conflict rather than harmony. The law knows no deception, it simply mirrors back the dominant frequency you hold. Consider the wisdom revealed through Glenn Ray's journey. After years of forced positivity that yielded no change, he finally allowed himself to sit quietly with his sadness. In that moment of raw honesty, something shifted. By accepting his authentic state without judgment, he discovered that emotions need not be overcome, only acknowledged. Within weeks, his circumstances began to transform, not through effort, but through alignment. This mirrors an ancient truth. The universe does not require you to feel joyful about everything. It asks only for your honesty. When you honor your present vibration, you release the resistance that blocks natural harmony from flowing into your life. Think of emotions as messengers rather than obstacles. Each feeling offers vital information about your relationship with life's energy. The law operates with perfect precision, responding to what is, not what you pretend. Your task is not to maintain perpetual happiness, but to cultivate authentic presence with whatever arises. This creates the space for genuine transformation. Forced cheer is like painting over tarnished metal. The surface may gleam briefly, but the underlying condition remains unchanged. True alchemy begins with acceptance of what is. Only then can your energy field clarify and align with what you desire to create. Ancient practice. The honesty meditation. Find a quiet moment and breathe deeply. Allow yourself to feel whatever is present without trying to change it. Whether joy or sorrow, peace or anger, breathe appreciation for each sensation as it arises. Notice how this simple acceptance begins to shift your energy naturally. Through this practice, buried frequencies surface and release, establishing the clarity that creation inherently respects. Chapter 9. The Choice That Shapes Clouds. In a remote mountain village, there lived a potter named Yun who crafted vessels from clay. Each morning, he faced two paths to gather his materials, one leading to a riverbank where fine clay lay in abundance, the other to a rocky quarry where minerals sparkled but the clay was coarse. Day after day, Yun chose the harder path to the quarry, believing fate had decreed his struggles. His pots emerged rough and often cracked during firing. One morning, following an inner whisper, he took the river path instead. The clay there yielded easily to his hands, and his creations began to reflect a newfound grace. In that moment he understood. It was not destiny that had shaped his experience, but the simple choice of which path to walk. The universe operates as an infinite field of possibility, continuously shaped by the choices you make. Each decision sends ripples through the quantum fabric of reality, instructing the field how to arrange itself around you. This truth reveals itself in the story of Melba Crane, who once viewed her life as a series of predetermined events beyond her control. She blamed destiny for every disappointment, every missed opportunity, every moment of lack. Yet as she began to observe the direct connection between her choices and the experiences that followed, a profound realization emerged. The weather of her life, its storms and sunshine, correlated precisely with the seeds she had planted through her daily decisions. What appeared as destiny was actually the harvest of countless choices made moment by moment. Fred Ott's journey illuminates this principle from another angle. He made a conscious decision to choose kindness in each interaction, no matter how small. Where others might have responded with impatience, he chose understanding. When frustration arose, he selected compassion instead. Gradually, his world transformed. Beneficial coincidences began appearing with increasing frequency, like flowers blooming in an afternoon garden. People seemed to go out of their way to help him. Opportunities arose unexpectedly, and even challenging situations resolved themselves with surprising ease. These experiences unveil a fundamental truth. What appears as random chance or predetermined fate is actually the precise echo of your choices resonating through the field of all possibility. Each decision you make programs the quantum memory of the universe, creating templates for future experiences to follow. The power of choice extends beyond mere action. It encompasses your thoughts, emotions, and the quality of energy you bring to each moment. Every selection, no matter how small, carries creative force. When you choose worry, you instruct the field to generate more causes for concern. When you select peace, you program reality to reflect that same harmony back to you. Ancient practice, the alignment of choice. Before initiating any action today, pause and ask yourself with gentle attention, does this align with peace and expansion? Allow the question to settle in your heart, not your mind. Pay attention to the sensations that arise. One option will feel heavier, while another will carry a quality of lightness. This subtle difference is the universe guiding you through feeling. Follow the lighter sensation, for it leads toward harmony with the greater flow of life. This practice, handed down through generations of wisdom keepers, attunes you to the creative power inherent in every choice. Chapter 10. The Compass of Gratitude. Long ago, a humble woodcutter lived at the edge of an ancient forest. Each morning he would gather his tools and venture into the woods, seeing only labor ahead. The trees appeared gnarled, the path treacherous, and his work endless. Then one day he found an old medallion inscribed with mysterious symbols. The wise woman of his village explained that it was a compass of appreciation. Its needle moved toward whatever the holder blessed with genuine thanks. As he practiced using this strange instrument, the woodcutter noticed something extraordinary. The forest itself seemed to transform, not through any physical change, but through the lens of his grateful attention. The same trees he once saw as obstacles now appeared as noble guardians offering their gifts. The difficult path became an adventure. His work transformed from burden to blessing. Like this woodcutter, you possess an inner compass that responds to gratitude. This truth unveiled itself through Ida Shaw's remarkable discovery. While her external circumstances remained unchanged, she began to consciously amplify her appreciation for what already existed in her life. With each grateful thought, her perception shifted until her familiar world appeared bathed in new light. The same home, the same job, the same relationships, all transformed through the simple yet powerful act of thankful recognition. Patrick Bell's experience further validates this principle. By consciously reducing his complaints and increasing his expressions of gratitude, he noticed an immediate shift in his daily flow. Situations that once brought frustration began resolving themselves with unexpected ease. Opportunities appeared precisely when needed. The universe seemed to guide him toward smoother pathways, all through the refined instrument of appreciation. This navigation system operates with perfect precision because gratitude naturally aligns your energy with the frequency of abundance. When you offer thanks for what exists now, you tune yourself to receive more experiences worthy of appreciation. The compass of the universe invariably points toward what you bless with genuine thankfulness. Think of appreciation as a lens through which reality transforms itself. Through complaint, even abundance appears as scarcity. Through gratitude, even simple moments reveal their hidden magnificence. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the activation of an ancient law that governs the flow of life itself. Your thought patterns create trails through the field of infinite possibility. When these thoughts carry the energy of appreciation, they naturally lead toward experiences that merit more gratitude. This creates an upward spiral of expanding good, each grateful recognition attracting greater reasons for thankfulness. Practice. Take a moment now to recall experiences worthy of thankful mention. Let your appreciation flow naturally toward these memories, feeling how each one brightens in your consciousness. Notice how this simple act begins to shift your inner compass, gently turning the direction of your life toward increasingly pleasant horizons. The guidance system of gratitude never fails. It simply awaits your conscious activation. Part 2. The Human Partnership with Infinity. Chapter 11. The Stillness That Commands. In the ancient hills of a distant land, a master sculptor worked with extraordinary marble. While other artisans attacked their stone with fierce determination, he would sit quietly before each block for days. When questioned about his methods, he simply smiled and waited. Then, with movements that seemed to flow from the silence itself, he would reveal figures of such beauty that they appeared to have emerged naturally from the stone. The universe operates through this same principle of effortless power. When you cease the constant doing and enter the realm of being, creation responds with perfect precision. This truth manifests in countless ways across time and space, teaching us that true power lies not in force, but in the ability to become still. Lola Frost, discovered this wisdom when she stopped pushing against life's currents. For years, she had approached every challenge with intense effort, believing that success required constant striving. Each achievement left her exhausted until she noticed how nature accomplishes its greatest works without strain. The mighty oak grows in silence. Rivers carve canyons through patient persistence. Clouds reshape continents without sound. As Lola reduced her effort and embraced silence, she watched in amazement as situations resolved themselves with unexpected grace. Projects that once demanded endless hours of strain began flowing smoothly. Relationships that had been complicated by too many words found their natural harmony in shared quiet. She realized that silence moves mountains unseen, while force merely exhausts the mover. Julian Cobb applied this principle in the corporate world, where chaos often reigns. Before each meeting, he would arrive early to sit in complete stillness. While others rushed in with agendas and anxiety, he remained centered in calm awareness. As if by magic, these meetings consistently unfolded with perfect timing and clarity. Solutions emerged organically, conflicts dissolved without struggle, and decisions aligned naturally with the highest good for all. The message becomes clear. Stillness is the strongest authority. When you quiet the endless doing and rest in pure being, you tap into the infinite organizing power of the universe. Like the surface of a lake that must become still to reflect the sky perfectly, your mind must find silence to reflect universal intelligence clearly. Ancient practice of stillness. Pause now. Let your breath slow naturally, like gentle waves on a distant shore. Feel the space around you, within you, between your thoughts. Notice how your physical stillness begins to influence the entire field of experience. Let your quiet body become a teaching for the universe, a lesson in perfect balance and harmony. Remain here, allowing serenity to ripple outward until you sense the subtle shift as creation aligns with your peace. The power of stillness now moves mountains on your behalf. Chapter 12. The Field of Allowance. The art of stillness reveals itself through life's most ordinary moments. In the quiet spaces between thoughts, the universe whispers its deepest secrets. When you release the grip of constant motion, you align with the natural flow that governs all creation. Consider the wisdom embedded in the story of Grace Penn, who discovered this timeless truth through her own journey. Each morning, she would rush through her tasks, forcing outcomes and exhausting herself in the process. Yet the more she pushed, the more life seemed to resist her efforts. Then one day, witnessing a leaf floating effortlessly down a stream, she understood. She began to surrender her hurried pace, allowing events to unfold in their own time. As she released her grip on controlling every detail, remarkable transformations occurred. Opportunities appeared precisely when needed, relationships deepened naturally, and solutions emerged without struggle. This principle extends far beyond individual experience. It is woven into the very fabric of existence. The universe operates through a perfect order that requires no force, only alignment. Just as a flower doesn't strain to bloom or a river fight to reach the ocean, your path unfolds most gracefully when you cease resistance. Howard Peel's experience serves as a mirror to this truth. His determination to control every aspect of his business ventures created invisible barriers. The more he tensed against uncertainty, the more delays and obstacles appeared. Each setback amplified his resistance until he found himself trapped in a cycle of struggle. The universe simply reflected his own tension back to him, teaching through experience that force diminishes power. The law that governs all creation responds not to might, but to allowance. When you enter the silence between thoughts, you tap into the same power that turns seeds into forests and stars into galaxies. This power requires no effort. It flows naturally when you step out of its way. Ancient practice for aligning with universal flow. Find a comfortable position and close your eyes. Visualize yourself floating gently above your current circumstances, as though suspended in a vast, peaceful space. Feel the release of all tension as you surrender to an invisible current of infinite wisdom. Trust that this current knows the perfect path to your highest good. Let go of the need to direct or control its flow. Simply float, allowing the river of life to carry you effortlessly toward your destiny. Practice this visualization whenever you feel the urge to force outcomes or rush ahead of divine timing. The more you relax into this practice, the more gracefully life's currents will guide you. Chapter 13. The Geometry of Confidence. In ancient times, the wise ones understood that the body serves as a living antenna, broadcasting your innermost state to the cosmic order. Every stance, every gesture, speaks a language the universe instantly comprehends. In a bustling marketplace, Annie Ford discovered this eternal principle. For years she had carried herself with shoulders curved inward, head slightly bowed, a physical echo of her inner uncertainty. But one transformative morning, she remembered the teachings of her grandmother. Stand as though you carry light within. As Annie straightened her spine, something remarkable shifted in the fabric of her experience. Her adjusted posture became a declaration to the universe, and the universe responded in kind. Opportunities that had seemed distant suddenly materialized, as though they had been waiting for this silent signal all along. The physical form serves as the first messenger of your intentions. When you alter your body's alignment, you transform the very frequency you emit into the cosmic field. This truth manifested clearly in the life of Miles Parr, whose brilliant mind was often overshadowed by his demeanor. Though his capabilities were vast, his slouched posture spoke a different story to the world. As he moved through his days with downcast eyes and rounded shoulders, the universe reflected back this energy. Opportunities passed him by, doors remained closed, and his path seemed perpetually uphill. Your body's position in space is not merely physical. It is a statement of energetic intention. When you stand in alignment, you declare your readiness to receive. When you straighten your spine, you align with the vertical current of infinite possibility. The universe responds not to your words alone, but to the wholeness of your being. This wisdom teaches that transformation need not begin with grand gestures. The simple act of adjusting your posture can initiate a cascade of positive change throughout your entire field of experience. Your physical form becomes the living prayer, the embodied affirmation of your worthiness to receive. Ancient practice of embodied alignment. Find a quiet space where you can stand undisturbed. Plant your feet firmly on the ground, feeling the solid earth beneath you. Gently lift your chest, allowing your heart to open toward the sky. Let your gaze rest softly upward, as though receiving light from above. Feel the rhythm of certainty flowing from the ground through your entire being, as if the universe itself expands within your stance. Hold this position for several breaths, knowing that your very presence is a channel for cosmic abundance. Let this posture become your natural way of moving through the world, a physical reminder of your connection to infinite possibility. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Pulse of Imagination. In the tranquil gardens of an ancient monastery, a wise monk once shared the secret of creation with his apprentice. "What you see with your inner eye," he whispered, "the universe moves mountains to manifest." Lillian Ross understood this sacred truth. Each morning, before the world stirred from its slumber, she would sit in perfect stillness, allowing visions of her desired reality to paint themselves across the canvas of her mind. She did not strain or force these images. Instead, she let them flow as naturally as breath itself. Within weeks, the universe began orchestrating events that mirrored her quiet visualizations. The power of imagination extends far beyond mere daydreaming. It serves as the architect's blueprint from which the universe constructs reality. Every thought, every mental picture, carries the seed of physical manifestation. When you close your eyes and envision with unwavering clarity, you engage in the oldest form of creation. Owen Cook once dismissed such practices as foolish fantasy. His rational mind rejected what it could not immediately grasp. Yet something within him yearned for deeper understanding. When circumstances led him to experiment with conscious visualization, he discovered that time itself seemed to bend around his focused imagination. Opportunities appeared as if summoned, and paths cleared before him with supernatural precision. The universe does not distinguish between what you imagine vividly and what you experience physically. Both carry equal creative force. This is why masters throughout the ages taught their students to guard their mental pictures as carefully as they would guard precious jewels. Each image held in consciousness becomes a template for material expression. Your imagination serves as the chisel with which you carve your destiny from the marble of infinite possibility. When you learn to direct it with purpose, you step into your role as conscious creator. The power has always resided within you, waiting to be recognized and employed. Practice. Ancient manifestation ritual. Find a quiet space where you will remain undisturbed. Close your eyes and bring to mind one simple joy you wish to experience. It might be as gentle as a warm smile from a stranger, or as specific as a particular achievement. See it with such clarity that it feels more real than your present moment. Let your breath flow naturally as you hold this vision, allowing each inhale to strengthen its reality in your mind. Continue until you feel the subtle shift, that moment when possibility transforms into inevitability. This feeling is your signal that the blueprint has been received by the cosmic intelligence. Open your eyes, knowing the wheels of creation have been set in motion. Chapter 15. The Energy of Words. Long ago, a merchant traveled between distant villages carrying precious silks. At each stop, he noticed a peculiar pattern. The way he spoke of his journey seemed to shape the reception he received. In towns where he complained of difficult roads, he found hostile faces and barred doors. Yet in places where he sang praises of the pleasant breeze and beautiful landscapes, doors swung wide and hearts opened freely. The power of your words shapes the very fabric of existence. Each syllable you utter sends ripples through the quantum field, instructing reality how to arrange itself. This is not mere poetry. It is the fundamental mechanics of creation. Dora Lane discovered this truth through living it. Day after day, she had unconsciously woven a web of complaints about her neighborhood, the noise, the untended gardens, the unfriendly faces. And like a mirror, her surroundings reflected every word of discord. But when she began consciously transforming her vocabulary, speaking of potential rather than problems, something remarkable occurred. The very same neighbors who had seemed cold began to warm. Gardens started blooming. The atmosphere itself appeared to lighten. The universe does not judge your words as good or bad. It simply amplifies the vibrational quality they carry. Every statement you make is a command to the field of infinite possibility. This field knows no difference between criticism and praise. It merely echoes back the energy you project. Ned Fry's experience validates this ancient wisdom. His household had been filled with tension, sharp words flying like arrows. Yet when he deliberately began speaking words of kindness, regardless of circumstances, the very air in his home seemed to change. Arguments that had once erupted daily simply ceased to manifest. The field had received and multiplied his new instructions. Your tongue is a wand of creation. Each word carries a specific frequency that ripples outward, touching everything in its path. When you understand this, you realize the profound responsibility and power you hold in every conversation, every utterance. Practice. Find a quiet space where you can be alone. Begin whispering words of gentle blessing, first to yourself, then to your surroundings, and finally to situations that trouble you. Notice how the very atmosphere responds to your soft, loving declarations. Continue until you feel the air vibrating in harmony with your benevolent intentions. This is not imagination. It is you actively reprogramming the field of creation through the power of intentional speech. Chapter 16. The Bridge of Self-Regard. Your words hold an ancient power, one that modern minds have forgotten but that sages have known since time immemorial. They are not mere sounds floating in the air, but energetic blueprints that the universe follows with unwavering precision. Each time you speak of yourself, you issue a command to the cosmic forces. When you diminish your worth, even in jest, you unknowingly lower the ceiling of what can manifest in your life. This truth revealed itself through Flora Dean, who habitually spoke of herself with subtle deprecation. "I'm not good enough for that," she would say, or, "Things like that don't happen to people like me." With each utterance, she wove an invisible barrier between herself and her desires. The universe, being the perfect mirror, could only reflect back the limitations she proclaimed. Yet the law works equally in the direction of abundance. Victor Kane understood this principle intuitively. Though his circumstances were humble, he maintained an unwavering dignity in his speech. He never boasted, but spoke with quiet certainty about his inherent value. "I welcome good fortune," he would say, or "I am worthy of excellence." Gradually, opportunities began appearing. A chance meeting with an influential mentor, an unexpected invitation to share his ideas, doors opening that he never knew existed. These contrasting stories illuminate a fundamental truth. Your relationship with yourself sets the tone for your relationship with the infinite. Self-honor is not vanity. It is alignment with the highest truth of your being. The universe cannot override your own estimation of yourself. It must, by law, calibrate its responses to match the frequency of your self-talk. Think of your words as seeds planted in fertile soil. Each time you speak of yourself with respect, you plant an oak of possibility. Each self-diminishing phrase sows thorns in your path. The choice of what to cultivate remains eternally yours. Ancient practice. Find a quiet space where you can be alone. Close your eyes and place your hand over your heart. In a voice barely above a whisper, speak these words: I am allowed to receive. Feel how your heartbeat responds. It is the drum of divine agreement, the rhythm of the universe confirming your worthiness. Let this truth settle into your bones. Chapter 17. The Feedback of Harmony. In the quiet corners of an ancient village lived a woman who discovered one of the universe's most subtle secrets. Through seemingly ordinary events, a profound truth emerged that would transform understanding of how the cosmic forces operate through daily life. High in the mountains, Edith Hale noticed a peculiar pattern in her household. Each time voices raised in discord, appliances would mysteriously falter. The washing machine would cease its spin during heated discussions. Light bulbs would flicker and fade when sharp words cut through the air. At first, she dismissed these occurrences as mere coincidence, yet the correlation proved too consistent to ignore. The universe operates through an intricate system of vibrations, where inner states manifest in the physical world with mathematical precision. Your emotional frequency affects not just relationships and opportunities, but the very machinery of life itself. The atoms comprising all matter respond to the subtle energies you emit. Like the delicate gears of a timepiece, the mechanics of destiny require proper calibration. When you maintain internal harmony, the external world aligns with smooth efficiency. But introduce the harsh frequencies of conflict, and the entire mechanism begins to strain. Ralph Snow's experience validates this principle. His home had become a place where everything seemed to malfunction, from stuck doors to temperamental electronics. Upon learning of vibration's effect on matter, he chose to practice speaking with gentle intention. He modulated his tone to match the peaceful hum of nature rather than the discordant notes of frustration. Within days, the transformation was remarkable. Appliances that had been troublesome began operating flawlessly. The perpetually squeaking hinges fell silent. Even his old car, which had been stubborn to start, turned over effortlessly each morning. The machinery of his life responded to the new frequency he maintained. This ancient wisdom reveals that material reality is more responsive to emotional vibration than physical intervention. When you harmonize your inner state, you automatically tune the cosmic mechanics to operate in your favor. Peace is not merely a state of mind. It is a force that calibrates the gears of existence. The practice. As you lay down each night, release the day's accumulated tensions. Picture every point of friction in your life, each stuck situation, each mechanical challenge, each resistance, being bathed in golden light. Feel peace flowing like oil through all the gears and mechanisms of your existence. Let your breathing become steady and smooth, knowing that as you restore inner harmony, the outer world must follow suit. This nightly ritual of forgiveness and recalibration allows the universe to adjust its machinery while you sleep, ensuring smoother operation with each dawn. Chapter 18. The Return of Thought. At the heart of existence lies an elegant principle. Your relationship with the world mirrors your inner harmony. This truth unfolds through countless lives, teaching those who pause long enough to observe its gentle whispers. In a bustling market square, Agatha Reeve spent her mornings sharing tales of neighbors' misfortunes, weaving speculation into fact with casual ease. Yet each story she spread returned to her doorstep transformed. Misunderstandings about her own affairs multiplied until she could scarcely leave her house without encountering someone who had heard false rumors about her life. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, was showing her the perfect reflection of her own thoughts and words. Not far away lived Martin Day, who discovered a different approach to this cosmic law. Each morning on his walk to work, he would silently bless every stranger he passed. A wish for health to the elderly woman at the bus stop. A blessing of joy to the hurried businessman. A prayer of peace for the worried mother with her children. He never spoke these blessings aloud, yet soon found himself surrounded by unexpected kindnesses. A neighbor would clear his walkway after a snowfall. A stranger would hold a door just as his arms were full. The universe was faithfully echoing his silent goodwill. These parallel stories reveal the exquisite mechanism of universal law. Every thought and feeling you release becomes a messenger that must return to its source. Like a boomerang thrown into the cosmic winds, your mental and emotional energy creates patterns that cycle back with mathematical precision. This is not punishment or reward, but simply the physics of consciousness at work. When you speak of others, you are programming the universe's response to your own life. When you judge, you calibrate the lens through which you will be seen. When you bless, you activate waves of benevolence that must find their way back to you. This is why masters of old taught the art of mindful speech and careful thought. They understood that each mental emission becomes a template for future experience. The universe holds up a perfect mirror, reflecting back not just your words and actions, but the very essence of your thoughts. It responds not to what you claim to believe, but to the actual frequency you emit. This is why authentic goodwill produces more reliable results than calculated manipulation. The universe reads energy, not intention. Sacred practice. As you move through your day, pause to send a genuine, silent compliment to the first person you encounter. Feel the warmth of that blessing as it leaves your heart. Then watch with gentle awareness as its echo returns to you in unexpected forms. The universe never fails to respond to sincere vibrations of harmony. Chapter 19. The Rhythm of Patience. In the ancient scrolls, it is written that the universe operates with perfect precision, each moment unfolding according to sacred mathematics that govern all creation. You are about to discover why timing holds the key to manifestation and how patience transforms from burden to blessing. Long ago, there lived a woman named Lena Cross, who yearned deeply for change in her circumstances. Each morning, she would rise and demand evidence of the universe's response to her wishes. "Show me now," she would implore, checking constantly for signs that her desires were manifesting. Yet with each demanding glance, she unknowingly created resistance in the very flow she sought to quicken. The universe, being infinite in its wisdom, could not yield to force what must naturally unfold through divine sequence. Through your own journey, you have likely encountered similar moments of impatience. Yet within this universal dance lies a profound truth. That which resists time's natural rhythm remains suspended in delay, while that which flows with divine timing accelerates with grace. Consider the tale of Clyde Wynne, who discovered this principle through simple observation. Rather than fighting against time's current, he learned to trust the sequence of events as they appeared. What seemed like delays revealed themselves as perfectly orchestrated stepping stones, each one essential to his path. His acceptance of divine timing transformed waiting into wisdom, and soon he witnessed how apparent delays concealed swift currents of progress beneath their surface. The universe operates through mathematical precision. Just as a flower cannot be forced to bloom before its season, your desires manifest according to an exact spiritual science. Patience is not passive waiting, but active trust in this divine arithmetic. When you align with this truth, you enter the stream of natural timing where all unfolds with elegant efficiency. The sacred practice. Find a quiet space where you can sit undisturbed. Whenever impatience begins to whisper its urgent demands, consciously transform that energy. Speak these words with gentle authority. Everything ripens for my joy now. Continue breathing slowly and steadily, allowing each breath to deepen your trust in divine timing. This practice realigns your energy with the natural flow of manifestation. Chapter 20. The Seed of Vision. A great truth whispers through the ages. Patience is not passive waiting, but active trust in the perfect unfolding of divine timing. Through countless generations, those who mastered this wisdom found themselves dancing in harmony with the universe's natural rhythm. In a valley blessed by morning mist, May Reed understood this sacred principle. Each day, she tended to her intentions with the same gentle care a master gardener shows their most precious seedlings. She never questioned whether the soil was fertile enough or if the seeds were growing fast enough. Instead, she maintained unwavering faith, nourishing her visions with appreciation and trust. As seasons turned, her dreams took root in reality's soil, branching out in ways more magnificent than she could have imagined. In contrast, Gerald Quinn scattered his hopes like seeds in the wind, never allowing any single intention to take root. His desires changed with each passing mood, creating a field of confusion where nothing could fully mature. The universe, ever faithful to our instructions, could only reflect back this scattered energy. The law remains constant. What you nurture with patient attention grows strong. When you plant your intention clearly and tend it with steady devotion, unseen forces begin their work. Like a garden growing beneath the soil, before the first shoot appears, your desires are already in motion long before physical evidence emerges. Your relationship with time itself transforms when you align with this truth. No longer do you stand as an impatient observer, but as a wise cultivator of dreams, understanding that each moment of waiting carries its own perfect purpose. The universe moves with impeccable precision, orchestrating countless elements to bring your vision into form. Ancient practice. Find a quiet moment as the sun rises or sets. Choose one clear intention. Make it simple, pure, and close to your heart. Close your eyes and see it as a seed already planted in fertile soil. Each morning and evening, visit this sacred seed in your mind. Touch it with gentle appreciation, knowing it grows stronger with each blessing you bestow. Never dig it up to check its progress. Simply trust in its perfect unfoldment. Let your patient love be the water and light it needs to flourish. Part 3. Living the Power Consciously. Chapter 21. The Circle of Reciprocity. In a bustling marketplace of old, a merchant named Julie Pratt discovered one of the universe's most elegant mysteries. While others clutched tightly to their fortunes, she offered assistance freely to those in need. With each selfless act, she noticed an peculiar occurrence. Her generosity returned threefold, often from entirely unexpected directions. The more she gave without expectation, the more abundance flowed into her life through mysterious channels. The universe operates through circuits of energy, eternally seeking completion. When you release goodwill into the world, you activate an ancient principle that governs all of creation. Energy must flow to remain vital. Like a stream that grows stagnant when blocked, wealth in all its forms, material, spiritual, and emotional, requires circulation to maintain its power. Lyle Grant learned this truth through its shadow aspect. Living in fear of loss, he withheld his talents and resources, believing that conservation would lead to security. Yet, the more tightly he gripped what he had, the more life seemed to contract around him. His resistance to sharing created an energetic barrier, and soon he found himself enclosed in a sphere of isolation, cut off from the very abundance he sought to protect. The law remains constant. Giving activates receiving. Not through forced reciprocity or calculated exchange, but through the natural response of an interconnected universe. When you freely offer kindness, support, or resources, you become a conscious participant in creation's endless dance of giving and receiving. This principle extends beyond material transactions. A genuine smile offered to a stranger, a moment taken to listen deeply, a helping hand extended without agenda. These seemingly small acts create ripples in the fabric of reality. These ripples return, transformed and multiplied, often in ways you could never anticipate. Think of your generosity as golden light released into the cosmic ocean. It cannot help but return, for energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only change form. The universe keeps perfect accounts, not through ledgers of debt and credit, but through the natural law of energetic equilibrium. Ancient practice. Find one opportunity today to offer kindness anonymously. Let it be something small but genuine, perhaps leaving flowers at a doorstep, paying for a stranger's coffee, or placing an encouraging note where it will be found. As you perform this act, envision it as golden light flowing from your heart into the world. Then imagine this light traveling outward in expanding circles, touching countless lives before returning to you, luminous and multiplied. Make no attempt to track or verify its return. Simply trust in the perfect circulation of universal energy. Chapter 22. The Light of Forgiveness. The truth whispers through every exchange in your life. What you withhold creates stagnation. What you release multiplies in motion. Through countless ages, this wisdom has guided those who understood the sacred art of circulation. You have encountered this principle countless times, though perhaps without recognizing its profound simplicity. Consider Vera Lane, whose heart had grown heavy with accumulated grievances. Each perceived slight and injury she stored became a dam, blocking the natural flow of abundance. Her resentments, justified as they seemed, acted as barriers in the cosmic circuit. Yet the moment she chose to release these burdens through forgiveness, the universe's response was swift and certain. Like a river finally freed of debris, opportunities and joy began flowing through channels long dormant. The power of forgiveness extends beyond pardoning others. It requires making peace with yourself. Edwin Cole discovered this when his past mistakes became chains binding his present potential. Each time he reached for success, his own self-judgment pulled him back. It wasn't until he granted himself the grace of forgiveness that the universal flow resumed its natural course. His self-acceptance cleared the way for external acceptance, and success followed with remarkable ease. This reveals a fundamental truth. Forgiveness isn't merely a moral virtue. It's a practical tool for clearing the channels through which universal energy flows. When you harbor resentment, you create interference in the subtle frequencies that orchestrate synchronicity. Your grudges become static in the signal between your intentions and their manifestation. The universe responds not to your words or actions alone, but to the clarity of your energy field. Forgiveness acts as a purifying force, dissolving the accumulated residue of past hurts and disappointments. As you release these old energies, you create space for new possibilities to enter. Ancient practice of energy clearing. Find a quiet moment where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Picture each grievance you carry as dark ink in the clear water of your consciousness. Watch as each resentment, each old hurt, begins to dissolve and disperse. See the dark clouds of past pain gradually fading until only crystal clarity remains. Feel the lightness that comes as these burdens dissolve. In this transparent state, sense how naturally your intentions flow, unobstructed by the debris of old wounds. Let this clarity become your natural state, inviting the universe's response with perfect precision. Chapter 23. The Discipline of Joy. In the markets of an ancient city, there lived a merchant who spent his days counting coins rather than savoring moments. Each morning he would pass a young girl who danced freely in the square, her movements expressing pure delight. At first he scorned her frivolity, until one day he witnessed how her joy attracted not only smiles but also prosperity, as passers-by generously filled her small basket with gifts and coins. The universe speaks through the language of vibration, and nothing resonates more powerfully than authentic joy. When you postpone happiness, believing it must wait for specific conditions, you instruct the cosmic forces to maintain that very state of waiting. Yet when you choose joy in the present moment, you activate an immediate shift in the fabric of creation. Pearl Cook understood this timeless truth. Rather than deferring her happiness to some future achievement, she wove laughter into the texture of each day. She discovered that joy is not a reward for success, but rather its foundation. As she cultivated daily moments of delight, her creative abilities flourished beyond previous limitations. The universe, recognizing her elevated frequency, responded by orchestrating circumstances that matched her vibration. Contrast this with Howard Bell, who believed happiness must be earned through struggle. His stance of, "I'll be happy when," became a self-fulfilling prophecy, pushing joy perpetually into an unreachable future. The cosmic law, being impartial, simply mirrored his choice to postpone happiness, creating an endless cycle of waiting. This wisdom echoes through ages, Joy trains the mind to expect expansion. When you anchor your discipline in happiness rather than rigid control, you align with the natural order of the universe. Your laughter becomes a declaration of trust in life's benevolence, and the universe cannot help but respond in kind. Ancient practice. Stand in a private space where you feel unrestricted. Let your body move freely for 30 seconds, dancing with the pure joy of being alive. Release all concern for appearance or rhythm. This is between you and the infinite. As you move, feel how this physical expression of happiness imprints upon the cosmic memory, teaching your cells the frequency of freedom. This simple practice, passed down through generations of wisdom keepers, serves as a reset button for your vibrational signature. Chapter 24. The Shadow of Desire. Along a mountain path, a wise woman encountered two flowers growing side by side. One bloom turned away from the sun, consumed by watching its neighbor's petals unfold. In its preoccupation with comparison, it failed to notice its own unique beauty, withering in the shade of envy. The universe operates through an infinite spectrum of expression, each manifestation perfect in its distinct form. When you measure your journey against another's path, you create resistance in the natural flow of your own abundance. This resistance manifests as subtle shadows within your energetic field, distorting the pure light of creation meant for your expansion. Nettie Moss discovered this truth through her own awakening. Each achievement by others seemed to diminish her own light, though she masked this feeling as motivation. The more she strived to match or exceed others' success, the more elusive her own became. Her energy, rather than flowing toward manifestation, scattered in countless directions of comparison. This pattern persists until you recognize that the success of others actually signals the universe's boundless capacity for abundance. Every victory you witness is a mirror reflecting the infinite possibilities available to all. The key lies in transforming the energy of comparison into genuine celebration. Frank Dale embodied this wisdom naturally. When news reached him of others' triumphs, his heart expanded with authentic joy. He understood that success flowing to one opens channels for all. With each blessing he offered to others' achievements, his own path cleared of obstacles. The universe, detecting no resistance in his field, delivered corresponding abundance. In the cosmic dance of creation, comparison serves only to fragment your power. When you bless another's light, you strengthen your own. This is not mere philosophy, but a precise application of universal law. The energy you extend toward others' success returns multiplied, for in truth, there is no separation between your abundance and theirs. Sacred practice. As you move through your day, observe moments when others experience success or joy. Pause and whisper softly, "There I am succeeding." Feel how this declaration dissolves the illusion of separation, replacing it with a profound sense of unity. Let this practice transform every instance of comparison into an opportunity for collective celebration. Through this alchemical shift, watch as your own path begins to sparkle with newfound possibility. Chapter 25. The Mastery of Attention. In a distant village, a potter crafted vessels from clay each morning. Some days his focus drifted to the imperfections, tiny cracks and uneven edges that seemed to multiply under his scrutiny. Other days he marveled at the perfect curve of each piece, the smoothness achieved by patient hands. On these days his work transformed from mere pottery to art that drew admirers from distant lands. The difference lay not in his skill, but in his vision. The universe responds with unwavering precision to what captures your attention. This law operates with mathematical accuracy. Wherever you place your focus, energy flows and reality grows. Like a master gardener tending specific seeds, your attention nurtures the elements of existence that will flourish in your experience. Celia Brooks discovered this principle through an awakening that transformed her material reality. Rather than dwelling on empty spaces in her life, she began deliberately seeking evidence of abundance. Each morning, her eyes searched for signs of plenty, the warmth of sunlight, the fullness of her breath, the comfort of shelter. As she redirected her focus from lack to abundance, a curious transformation occurred. Her world began expanding to match her new vision, multiplying the very blessings she chose to acknowledge. Sam Holt walked a different path. His gaze remained fixed upon the void, opportunities that hadn't materialized, relationships that hadn't blossomed, dreams still unrealized. With each passing day, this focus carved deeper channels of absence in his experience. The universe, ever faithful to its law, amplified precisely what commanded his attention, creating an expanding spiral of perceived scarcity. This principle reveals the sculptor's nature of consciousness. Your attention acts as a chisel, carving reality from the infinite potential of existence. Each moment of focus chips away at the stone of possibility, revealing either the masterpiece of abundance or the hollow of lack. The choice of where to direct this tool rests entirely in your hands. The wisdom traditions speak of this as selective perception, the art of deliberately choosing which aspects of reality to amplify through attention. Like a photographer framing a shot, you possess the power to include or exclude elements from your field of focus. This selection process isn't denial, but rather conscious creation. Ancient practice. Pause now in your current surroundings. Let your eyes rest upon something of beauty, perhaps a flower, a beam of light, or even the simple elegance of a well-crafted object. Hold your gaze steady upon this single point of beauty until you feel gratitude rising naturally within your body. Allow this appreciation to expand, transforming your simple act of seeing into a gateway through which greater abundance flows. This practice, passed down through generations of mystics, converts ordinary perception into a portal of manifestation. Chapter 26. The Continuum of Presence. In the vast ocean of time, only one moment holds true creative power, the eternal now. This sacred truth remains hidden from those who scatter their awareness across imagined futures or remembered pasts. Yet its simple wisdom transforms every breath into a gateway of infinite potential. Ida Vaughn discovered this secret while washing dishes one ordinary evening. As warm water flowed over her hands, she noticed how the soap bubbles caught light in rainbow patterns. Instead of rushing through the task lost in thoughts of tomorrow, she allowed her awareness to rest fully in each sensation, the temperature of the water, the smooth texture of plates, the gentle sounds of cleaning. What had once been mundane chores became portals into timeless presence. As she continued this practice, she noticed how life responded differently. Opportunities appeared effortlessly, timing aligned naturally, and even challenges unfolded with unexpected grace. The universe speaks in the language of now, but few pause long enough to hear its whispered guidance. Peter Long exemplified this common human tendency, constantly projecting his consciousness into worried futures that existed only in imagination. While his mind raced ahead constructing scenarios of what might go wrong, life's simple gifts passed unnoticed. The morning sunlight on his desk, a kind word from a stranger, the perfect timing of a chance encounter. Each missed blessing represented a moment of potential creation lost to distraction. When you anchor awareness in the present moment, you access the timeless dimension where all possibilities exist simultaneously. This is not mere philosophy, but practical cosmic law. The present moment is where universal intelligence expresses itself most directly. When mind and moment align, the eternal power of creation flows unobstructed through your experience. Presence acts as a lens, focusing the diffuse light of potential into clear manifestation. Each time you return attention to now, you strengthen this lens. Every breath observed becomes a bridge between finite and infinite. The textures of daily life, sensations, sounds, movements, serve as hooks for consciousness to anchor itself in the creative present. Sacred practice. As you move through your daily activities, pause frequently to whisper silently to yourself, "I am here now." Let these words serve as gentle reminders to collect your scattered awareness back into the present moment. Notice how the most routine tasks begin to glow with subtle significance when infused with presence. Whether typing at your desk, preparing a meal, or walking to your car, allow each action to become a meditation in motion. This simple practice transforms ordinary moments into portals of power, revealing the sacred nature hidden within every breath. Chapter 27. The Frequency of Service. Long ago, in a village among rolling hills, there lived a simple weaver named Millie Ray. Each morning, she would pause her work to help elderly neighbors carry water from the well or teach young children to mend their clothes. Though her own means were modest, she gave freely of her time and skills, finding joy in each opportunity to serve others. As seasons passed, mysterious blessings began flowing into her life, abundant orders for her textiles, timely gifts from unexpected sources, and a growing sense of fulfillment that no wealth could purchase. When you give without expectation of return, you activate an ancient law of circulation. Each act of service sends ripples through the invisible fabric of existence, creating pathways for abundance to flow back to you. This occurs not because you have earned a reward, but because generosity aligns your energy with the natural movement of universal forces. Consider how Clark Boone, a merchant in the same village, clutched tightly to his resources and time. When neighbors sought his help, he turned away, believing that giving would deplete his stores. Yet the more he withheld, the more his prosperity seemed to shrink, until his warehouse stood nearly empty. The universe had simply amplified his energy of restriction. The law governing this dynamic responds not to the size of your contribution, but to the spirit behind it. A small act offered with genuine care carries more creative power than grand gestures made from obligation. When you serve others with joy, you demonstrate trust in life's abundance. This trust becomes the foundation upon which greater prosperity builds. Think of yourself as a channel through which universal energy flows. Like a stream that stays fresh through constant movement, your life gains vitality through the circulation of giving and receiving. Each time you extend yourself in service, you widen this channel, allowing more good to flow both ways. Ancient Wisdom Practice. Sit quietly for a moment and raise your hands, palms facing outward. Imagine pure golden light flowing from your heart through your arms and out your palms into the world. Feel this energy blessing everything it touches, people, situations, the very air around you. Experience the warm expansion in your chest as you share this light freely. Let this sensation remind you that in giving, you open yourself to receive the universe's limitless abundance. Chapter 28. The Return to Trust. The universe speaks through the language of service. When you extend yourself in genuine care for others, you align with the natural current of creation. This truth manifested clearly in the life of Gladys Crane, who spent her early years seeking constant validation from others. She would anxiously check and recheck her decisions, requiring endless confirmation before taking even the smallest step forward. Yet one autumn morning, while helping at a local shelter, Gladys witnessed how freely the volunteers gave of themselves without questioning the outcome. In that moment, something shifted within her. She realized that true power flows not from gripping tightly, but from opening her hands in service to others. As she learned to surrender her need for certainty, a profound ease settled into her life. Opportunities unfolded naturally, and the very reassurance she had once desperately sought now found her without effort. Harold West's journey illuminates another facet of this wisdom. As a merchant who prided himself on maintaining absolute control over every detail, he had constructed an elaborate system of safeguards and contingencies. Yet despite his meticulous planning, peace eluded him. His apparent mastery was merely fear dressed in the garments of logic. The turning point came when Harold witnessed how freely birds soared on invisible currents of air. He saw that they didn't fight the wind, but trusted its flow. Gradually, he began releasing his grip on circumstances, choosing instead to believe in the natural order of things. As his trust grew, he discovered that timing had its own intelligence, one far superior to his careful calculations. These stories reveal an eternal truth. When you release the need to orchestrate every detail of life, you open yourself to a greater orchestration. Service becomes not a duty, but a joy, not a strategy, but a natural expression of your being. The universe responds not to your effort, but to your alignment with its generous nature. Practice. Before sleep tonight, find a quiet moment and breathe deeply. Release every plan mentally into open space, whispering, "I trust the rhythm," sensing world adjusting kindly. Let each breath carry away the weight of control, allowing universal timing to move through your life with grace. Chapter 29. The Power of Appreciation. In the ceaseless flow of existence, trust emerges as the greatest ally in your journey of manifestation. Through countless ages, this wisdom has whispered to those ready to hear. The universe responds not to desperate grasping, but to peaceful allowing. Ada Quinn understood this sacred truth. Each morning she would pause to honor the simple gifts surrounding her, the gentle warmth of sunlight streaming through her window, the comforting aroma of fresh coffee, the soft purr of her cat. Rather than rushing past these moments in pursuit of greater things, she learned to infuse them with genuine appreciation. As she cultivated this practice, her life began to overflow with unexpected blessings. Opportunities appeared as naturally as flowers blooming in spring, and abundance flowed into every corner of her existence. In contrast, Ross Laird moved through his days with eyes fixed only on what he lacked. Though surrounded by countless small mercies, he remained blind to their presence, forever seeking grander proofs of life's goodness. The universe, ever faithful to the vibration offered, reflected his oversight. The very abundance he sought continued to elude him, for he had not yet learned to recognize and celebrate its seeds in the present moment. Here lies one of the most powerful secrets of universal law. Appreciation acts as a magnet for greater good. When you pause to acknowledge the beauty and blessing in what already exists, you broadcast a frequency that attracts more of the same. This is not mere coincidence, but the operation of cosmic law. Like attracts like, and gratitude begets abundance. The ancient masters knew this truth well. They understood that the path to greater manifestation begins with honoring what is already manifest. Every moment of appreciation creates a ripple in the field of infinite possibility, drawing to you experiences that match your grateful heart. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Begin to notice each comfort and blessing in your immediate surroundings. Name them silently in your mind: the chair supporting you, the air you breathe, the peace of this moment. Continue until you feel a smile naturally arising within. In this practice, you align with the frequency of receiving, allowing the universe to multiply your appreciation into ever-expanding abundance. Chapter 30. The Endless Source Within. In the quiet depths of an ancient monastery, a master taught his students that a cup cannot remain full by seeking water from other vessels. It must discover the spring within. This timeless wisdom echoes through the ages, speaking to the eternal truth you now uncover. Eva Cobb lived as many do, searching outside herself for lasting fulfillment. She accumulated achievements, relationships, and material comforts, yet found each satisfaction temporary. Through years of spiritual practice, she discovered a profound truth. The only lasting sustenance flows from the infinite well within. Once she learned to draw from this internal source, external circumstances lost their power to disturb her peace. Whether fortune smiled or frowned, she remained anchored in an unshakable serenity that bubbled up from her core. The universe operates through this principle of inner sustenance. Just as a tree's leaves may change with seasons while its roots remain steady in nourishing earth, your outer experience may shift while your connection to Source remains constant. This infinite well of peace, prosperity, and power resides not in some distant realm, but in the silent sanctuary of your own being. Daniel Cross exemplified the common struggle against this truth. He built elaborate systems of external security, financial investments, backup plans, and safety nets. Yet peace eluded him until circumstances stripped away these temporary supports. Only then, forced to turn inward, did he discover the ever-flowing spring of well-being that had always existed within him. His story reveals that searching outside yourself for permanent security is like trying to grasp water. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away. The source you seek has never left you. It pulses in every heartbeat, flows through every breath. When you align with this internal wellspring, The outer world naturally arranges itself in harmony with your inner state. External conditions become a reflection of, rather than a replacement for, your connection to the infinite. Ancient practice. Find a quiet space and sit comfortably. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to the center of your chest. Imagine a golden reservoir of infinite light dwelling there, eternally full and flowing. Feel this radiant essence streaming upward through your body, pouring through your crown into the vast sky above. Know that this fountain of divine energy never depletes. It only awaits your recognition to flow abundantly through your life. Maintain this visualization for several minutes, allowing yourself to be nourished by the inexhaustible source within. Part 4. The Infinite Expansion of Power. Chapter 31. The Spark of Realization. Long ago, a traveling sage came upon a man studying sacred texts by lamplight. Though the man could recite every word, his life remained unchanged. The sage simply smiled and extinguished the lamp. In that moment of darkness, the man finally felt the meaning he had only read about. The difference between knowing and understanding lies at the heart of transformation. Rosie Dale had spent years collecting spiritual teachings, her mind a storehouse of concepts about universal laws and cosmic principles. Yet her circumstances remained unmoved until the moment she felt the electric charge of recognition pulse through her being. It wasn't a new idea that changed everything. It was feeling the living truth of what she already knew. The day Rosie truly understood that her thoughts were not mere whispers, but commands to the universe, her entire reality began to shift. What had been intellectual knowledge suddenly became visceral knowing. She felt in her bones how each thought carried creative force. This wasn't information anymore. It was power awakening. Gilbert Finn's story mirrors this journey from concept to consciousness. He had dutifully repeated affirmations and visualizations, treating them as tasks to complete rather than truths to embody. Then, one ordinary morning, as sunrise painted the sky, something within him fell silent. In that stillness, he didn't learn anything new. He simply recognized what had always been true. Knowledge merged with wonder, and in that marriage, true understanding was born. These accounts reveal the subtle difference between accumulating information and awakening to truth. When recognition dawns, it transforms theory into living force. The power doesn't come from gathering more knowledge. It emerges when you feel the profound simplicity of what you already know. Ancient practice. Close your eyes for a breath and whisper, "I understand." Let quiet certainty flood every cell. Feel life recognizing you back. Chapter 32. The Flow of Detachment. Within you lies a power greater than any force of nature, the ability to shape reality through your relationship with desire. Yet this power operates through surrender, not control. Like water finding its natural course, creation flows most freely when you release your grip on how and when it must arrive. Cindy Brooks understood this truth only after exhausting herself through constant checking and seeking signs. Each morning she would wake with a knot of anxiety, measuring the distance between her current reality and her desired outcome. Her manifestations felt trapped in amber, visible but untouchable. The more desperately she reached, the more they seemed to recede like mirages in the desert. Then one day, while watching leaves dance in the wind, Something within her finally softened. She realized that the leaves didn't struggle to find their path. They simply allowed themselves to be carried. In that moment, Cindy let go. Not with resignation, but with trust. She stopped strangling her dreams with urgency and instead gave them permission to unfold in their own perfect timing. The shift was subtle, yet profound. As soon as she released her white-knuckled grip on outcomes, life began responding with unexpected gifts. Opportunities appeared naturally, as though they had simply been waiting for space to enter. Oscar Ray discovered this same principle through a different path. Having watched countless seeds sprout in his garden, he understood that growth follows its own sacred timeline. You cannot force a flower to bloom by pulling on its petals. Oscar applied this wisdom to his deepest desires, treating them like seeds he had planted in fertile soil. He trusted the universal laws as surely as he trusted the seasons. Where others might have paced and worried, Oscar maintained a quiet certainty. He knew that just as every tide must return to shore, every sincere desire contains within it the blueprint for its own fulfillment. His role was not to direct traffic, but to maintain the proper conditions for growth through his unwavering faith. These stories illuminate an eternal truth. Detachment is not indifference. It is supreme confidence in the perfect unfolding of divine timing. When you release your death grip on outcomes, you remove the very resistance that blocks their arrival. The universe operates through attraction, not force. It responds not to desperate pulling, but to magnetic allowing. Ancient practice. Find a quiet moment and picture your deepest desire as a beautiful bird perched in your open hands. Feel the warmth of its presence, its living energy. Now, with a smile of complete trust, gently raise your hands and watch as it takes flight into the vast sky above. Don't chase it with your eyes. Simply know that, like all of nature's cycles, it will return when the time is right. Let your heart fill with the lightness of true surrender as you continue your day, knowing that what is truly yours can never miss you. Chapter 33. The Breath of Renewal. In the depths of a mountain valley, there lived a merchant who hoarded his wares, fearful they would slip away if he loosened his grasp. Day after day, he counted his inventory, his anxiety mounting with each tally. Until one morning, a wandering sage taught him to simply watch the morning mist rise and fall, showing him how nature itself teaches the art of letting go. The universe speaks through the rhythm of breath, this most fundamental dance between receiving and releasing. When you cling too tightly to outcomes, you constrict the very channel through which abundance flows. The eternal law requires space to operate, room to weave its magnificent tapestry. Irene Cook discovered this sacred truth during her darkest season. Life had pressed heavily upon her shoulders until each day felt like wading through deep waters. Yet transformation arrived not through struggle, but through surrender. She began each dawn with a single deep breath, declaring herself new. With each inhalation, she allowed fresh possibility to enter. With each exhalation, she released what was complete. This simplest of rituals, the conscious breath, holds power to reset the entire trajectory of destiny. It cleanses the slate of yesterday's disappointments and opens the doorway to unlimited potential. Through breath, you commune directly with the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all of creation. Lionel Crane's journey mirrors this wisdom. After years of creative drought had left him exhausted and empty, he discovered renewal through mindful breathing. Each morning, he would sit in quiet attention to the air moving through his body. Gradually, inspiration returned like spring following winter. His art flowed freely once more, for he had learned to receive without grasping. The breath speaks the language of rebirth. It teaches that all of life moves in cycles of giving and receiving. When you align with this natural rhythm, you participate in the eternal dance of creation. Your breath becomes a prayer, a declaration of trust in the perfect unfolding of all things. Ancient practice for renewal. Find a quiet moment and settle into a comfortable position. Inhale deeply as though drawing sparkling possibility into your chest. As you exhale, think the words, "Thank you," for letting go. Continue this gentle rhythm, observing how calm naturally cleanses the slate of life. Let each breath become a fresh beginning. Chapter 34. The Bridge of Compassion. The power of compassion flows like an invisible current through the fabric of creation, touching and transforming all it encounters. This truth reveals itself through countless lives, yet its essence remains unchanged since time immemorial. Consider the tale of Mabel Frost, whose heart once carried the weight of judgment. Each morning she would arise carrying grievances like stones in her pockets, wondering why abundance seemed to pass her by. Yet something shifted when she began extending mercy to those who crossed her path. With each act of forgiveness, she noticed her own burdens growing lighter. The universe responded swiftly. Opportunities appeared as naturally as flowers turning toward sunlight. Her manifestations accelerated not through increased effort, but through the gentle power of understanding. The law operates with perfect precision in this realm. When you withhold compassion, you unknowingly construct barriers around your own blessings. Harold Vaughan learned this lesson through experience. His dreams moved sluggishly, as though wading through thick mud, until he recognized the source of resistance lay within his own hardened heart. The very act of judging others had created static in his field of creation. The universe speaks in the language of love, not as mere sentiment, but as the very foundation upon which reality builds itself. Like electricity flowing through copper wire, creative force travels most efficiently through hearts opened by kindness. Your compassion serves as a conductor, allowing universal energy to flow unimpeded through your being and into manifestation. When you soften your gaze toward others, you simultaneously soften the resistance within yourself. Each act of forgiveness clears the channel through which your desires flow. The law reveals that love forms the structural support between souls, creating bridges across which abundance travels freely. Ancient practice of heart radiance. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Visualize soft light passing through your heart toward anyone experiencing pain or difficulty. See them clearly in your mind's eye, watching as this gentle radiance surrounds them until their face brightens with a smile. Notice how that same light reflects back to you, doubled in its intensity. Feel the warmth expanding in your chest as you recognize the unbreakable connection between giving and receiving. Chapter 35. The Language of Energy. In the sacred silence between thoughts lies a power greater than speech, the radiant energy that shapes experience before a single word is uttered. This wisdom emerges not from ancient texts alone, but from the living laboratory of human interaction. Ellen Pratt discovered this truth through her own transformation. Each day she found herself exhausted from endless conversations, struggling to guide others through correction and explanation. The more she spoke, the more resistance she encountered. Yet when she began infusing her silence with gentle awareness and kind intention, a remarkable shift occurred. Without uttering a word, she noticed others responding to her presence differently. Her quiet energy became a soothing balm, inviting cooperation naturally. The atmosphere around her softened, and those who once argued now listened intently. The universe operates through vibration before vocabulary. Ned York's experience reveals this principle clearly. He observed how rooms seemed to shift in temperature according to his emotional state. When anxiety gripped him, spaces felt cold and confining. As peace filled his heart, the very air appeared to warm and expand. His moods painted invisible colors on reality's canvas, demonstrating how energy broadcasts its message long before speech begins. This teaching unveils a profound truth. Mastery of atmosphere precedes mastery of circumstance. The space around you responds to your energetic signature more swiftly than to your words or actions. Like a subtle perfume, your inner state permeates your surroundings, instructing the quantum field how to arrange itself. Every room becomes a temple where your energy offers its prayer to the infinite. The law operates with perfect precision in this domain. Your presence speaks volumes before your lips move. The universe reads your energetic language first, responding to the vibration you emanate rather than the words you choose. This explains why identical phrases can yield vastly different results depending on the energy behind them. Through conscious attention to your energetic broadcast, you gain the power to shape circumstances invisibly. Rather than forcing change through external means, you learn to adjust the atmospheric conditions from which experiences grow. This subtle mastery opens doors that no amount of verbal persuasion could unlock. Ancient practice of atmospheric blessing. Before entering any space, whether a meeting room, your home, or a public place, pause and breathe deeply. Allow serenity to flow outward from your being like gentle waves of light. Imagine this peaceful energy painting invisible patterns of harmony on every wall, blessing the space before any interaction occurs. Feel events already unfolding perfectly within this sanctified atmosphere. Your presence has prepared the way for grace to enter. Chapter 36. The Lesson of Cycles. In the silent spaces between words lies a language far more potent than speech. Through vibration and intent, you communicate with the universe in ways that transcend ordinary expression. Long ago, in a bustling marketplace, there lived a merchant named Patty Glenn. Each morning, she opened her shop with a heavy heart, believing misfortune stalked her path like a persistent shadow. When customers dwindled, she saw only loss. When inventory spoiled, she perceived punishment. Her days became an endless cycle of anticipated troubles. But as seasons turned, a deeper wisdom began to unfold. What appeared as repetition carried subtle variations, like a spiral staircase that seems to circle yet continuously ascends. Each challenge brought her closer to mastery. Each setback contained a seed of advancement. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, was not punishing, but preparing. This truth echoes through the tale of Clyde Shore, a craftsman who once interpreted every mistake as divine disapproval. His hands would tremble with each imperfect piece, seeing only failure where refinement waited. Until one dawn, while watching leaves spiral down from ancient trees, understanding dawned within his heart. Nature itself moves in cycles, not to repeat, but to perfect. The universal law speaks clearly. What appears as repetition serves as rehearsal. Like a musician practicing scales or a dancer perfecting steps, the universe guides you through patterns until mastery emerges. Each turn of the wheel brings you closer to alignment with your highest potential. When circumstances seem to echo past struggles, remember, you are not moving in circles, but in spirals. Each return carries you higher. Each cycle lifts you closer to enlightenment. What feels like déjà vu is often recognition of the lesson waiting to be fully embraced. The law works through pattern and cycle, but never through punishment. It moves like breath. Inhale, gathering wisdom. Exhale, releasing resistance. Your recognition of this truth transforms apparent setbacks into stepping stones toward greater understanding. Practice. Settle into stillness and notice any theme that seems to repeat in your life. Rather than resist its appearance, thank it gently for its consistent teaching. Breathe out any frustration or resistance you've held. Feel how this acceptance naturally widens your orbit, lifting you to new levels of understanding. Let each breath remind you that cycles serve your growth, never your limitation. Chapter 37. The Horizon of Purpose. In the depths of every heart lies a sacred intention, a divine purpose that, once recognized, transforms ordinary pursuit into extraordinary fulfillment. Long ago, in a village among ancient hills, there lived a young woman named Naomi Beck. Each morning, she would rise before dawn, creating endless lists of goals and achievements. She collected accomplishments like precious stones, yet found each victory somehow hollow. Though her hands were full of success, her spirit remained curiously empty. The universe speaks through the quiet voice of meaning. When Naomi finally paused her ceaseless striving, she discovered a profound truth. Creation delights not in the mere accumulation of success, but in the expression of authentic purpose. Her true power awakened not from what she achieved, but from why her heart sang while achieving it. In the same village dwelled Dean Frost, a craftsman whose early work brought modest returns. Yet unlike many, he chose to align his craft with service to others. Rather than pursuing wealth directly, he asked how his hands might ease the burdens of his neighbors. With each piece he created, he infused not just skill, but genuine care for those who would use it. As naturally as dawn follows night, abundance flowed toward him, carried on the current of purpose. These tales reveal an essential truth. Meaning sustains magnitude. When your actions arise from authentic purpose, the universe responds with inexhaustible energy. Like a well that never runs dry, purpose renews itself through the very act of giving. This is the hidden mechanism behind all lasting power, not the force of will, but the alignment with deeper meaning. You may notice that your greatest moments of power coincide with periods of clearest purpose. When your heart and actions unite in service of something greater than yourself, energy flows without effort. This is no coincidence, but rather the natural law of purpose at work. The universe does not tire of supporting what carries true meaning. Just as the sun never wearies of shining, purpose-driven action taps into an eternal source of power. Your role is not to generate this power, but to align with it through clear intention. Ancient practice of purpose alignment. Ask softly, what intention underlies my desires? When answer arrives as feeling of love, let it be compass for every act henceforth. Chapter 38. The Light Beyond Mastery. In a world that demands constant doing, you may find yourself exhausting every spiritual technique, seeking the perfect method to align with universal power. Yet the deepest truth awaits in pure simplicity. Lydia Webb spent years mastering manifestation practices, affirmations, and energy work. She filled notebooks with protocols and procedures, believing that precise execution would unlock the universe's favor. Each morning began with elaborate rituals, and each evening closed with measured meditations. Though results came, they required endless maintenance, like a garden that needed constant tending. Then, one ordinary afternoon, while sitting in her favorite chair, something shifted. The exhaustion of trying fell away, replaced by a profound recognition. She had always been what she sought. In that moment, Lydia discovered that her mere presence, when anchored in quiet knowing, drew life's blessings naturally. She no longer needed to orchestrate outcomes. Her being became the invitation. Herbert Nash walked a similar path of relentless striving. He studied ancient texts, attended workshops, and practiced countless techniques to perfect his connection with universal law. Year after year, he pushed himself toward mastery, believing that somewhere ahead lay the final key to power. One day, bone-tired from endless seeking, Herbert simply stopped. In that space of surrender, he felt what had always been true. His oneness with Source required no effort. Like a wave realizing it was the ocean, he relaxed into the knowing that had awaited his recognition all along. From that day forward, life flowed around him with graceful precision, responding not to his techniques, but to his natural state of being. These stories reveal the ultimate evolution of power, the dissolution of method into pure presence. When you cease trying to become and simply are, the universe recognizes itself within you. This is true mastery, the quiet companionship with Source that requires no special ritual or complex practice. The ancient practice of being. Sit in silence with eyes closed and sense vast friendliness surrounding you. Whisper, "I and universe are one rhythm," then let nothing more be required. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. The power of universe flows through every atom, every breath, every moment, not as distant force, but as the very essence of your being. This power asks nothing of you except recognition. It requires no complex formulas, no elaborate ceremonies, no special permissions. Like gravity, it simply is, operating with perfect consistency, whether acknowledged or not. Through these chapters, you have encountered this truth wearing different masks, in stories of transformation, in moments of surrender, in shifts of perspective. Yet beneath each lesson lies one unchanging principle. The universe mirrors your inner state with mathematical precision. When you worry, it returns anxiety multiplied. When you trust, it responds with orchestrated grace. When you appreciate, it amplifies abundance. Your role is not to convince the universe to favor you. It already does. Your task is simply to align your awareness with the power that eternally flows. This alignment happens not through force, but through acceptance. Not through pleading, but through knowing. You have always been the creator of your experience, though perhaps unaware of this sacred position. Every thought you hold, every emotion you nurture, every belief you maintain, sends ripples through the fabric of existence. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, receives these signals not as requests, but as instructions. Today marks your conscious partnership with this power. No longer must you wait for life to happen to you. No longer must you hope for random chance to smile upon your dreams. You stand now as conscious collaborator with cosmic intelligence, your awareness the lens through which infinite potential takes form. This is not theory awaiting proof. It is law awaiting your participation. The moment you embrace this truth, the universe embraces you back with perfect reflection. Your role as creator was never in question. Only your acceptance of it was delayed.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.